Hey guys, Adam Savage here in my cave with a one-day build that is also an announcement that I am crazy excited about. The build itself is for a rack that will hold 5 sorters. Sorters are the sort of linchpin of the hardware store that is my shop. Because every shop is, I believe, a philosophy about how to work, an externalization of a philosophy about how to work. And in my shop here, the philosophy is get to the flow state as fast as possible. The lowest possible threshold to the flow state is the goal. And these sorters, made by Sortimo, a German company, again, the 53 I have are filled with every nut and bolt and ball bearing and bushing and spring and rubber feet and rubber corks and rivets. There's over 100,000 objects stored in all of my sorters. And the reason I have 50 of the same is because Sortimo in their T-BOXX has designed the best sorter that has ever been designed. And the announcement I have to make is that I worked with Sortimo since last year, and I'm about to release on my website the Savage Industries, there's our logo, Savage Industries Sortimo T-BOXX. It's shot in orange. Oh, just one of my favorite colors that there ever was. It's got indexable, removable bins, and also separators that allow you to increase the separation factor and customize it. And the containers actually index to the lid so that even if you turn them upside down, they don't cross-pollinate. This is the gold standard, the best sorter I have ever encountered. I have dropped 4 of these over the years. Not a single one has been damaged. Oh, don't get me wrong. I've had to re-sort a lot of stuff, but I have not had to buy any replacements. I have never encountered a better sorting system. I'm so delighted to be selling these on the site. You can click on the link in the description below. And today's one-day build is a rack that will hold 5 of these. I think that's actually the ideal amount to hold, that even if you had 20 or 30, or in my case, 53, I plan to replace all these racks with today's build later on this year. And I plan to do it in components of 5 because I think that's the most stable way to do it and save the most amount of space. This is a pretty straightforward build. And while the dimensions would be different, you can use the lessons from this build for any sorting system that you have. You might have Bosch or Milwaukee or Artbin. You can build the same kind of 5-stack sorter for any one of those, as long as you use your own, dimensions that are appropriate for it. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything, but I don't think I am. If I look different, it's because I shot this build a couple of months ago and I'm only just getting around to the intro now. Let's get into the build. So this is a simple stack. It is an open tube of a box with a top and a bottom, 2 sides, and the back is not full. It's just 2 rails. You'll see when I start slapping it together. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 14 total pieces in this entire build, 14 pieces of wood. We start out with 2 at 18.5 times 14.5. And to be fair, I love my Baltic birch ply, but you don't need to go get that stuff. You can get the normal lumberyard ply. For these kind of constructions, this is literally not a huge amount of tensile strength required. Almost anything would suffice. I wouldn't do it out of MDF. That stuff tends to creep over time. Maybe not. Well, some of my MDF shelves have done pretty well, but plywood is it's kind of more my jam. Time to do some layout. I lied, 14 pieces. It's 16 pieces. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those make up the top and sides of the box. These make up the back. And then these guys are the runners. And I cut them actually at like 3/8 of an inch each. I know I made them kind of thin, but space is at a premium, and I'm gonna get that right. Yeah, I think this will be sensible. It's just a glue. It's a glue up, not just a nail up. It's also a glue up. No, I glow up. All right. I am going to smooth these out on my linisher. Those of you lacking such a tool can just use a wad of 100 grit sandpaper. So let us recap. We have here 2 pieces at 19.5 by 14.5. 2 pieces at 18.5 times 14.5. 2 pieces at 20.5 times 2 inches, and 10 pieces that are 3/8 by 14.5. Yes. Yes, they're actually a little less than 14.5. I think they're 14.25. So it's time for assembly. It's not the drivetrain per se, it's the drivetrain assembly. It's the last thing you ever want to hear from a mechanic. It's not the blankety blank, it's the blankety blank assembly. And you're like, oh. So I'm about to assemble one of these boxes. And look, you don't have to glue and screw these together. That's not required for this build, but I think gluing makes sense. If you're only ever going to buy 5 Sortimos and you're just going to have them up somewhere, and you're not going to stack anything on top of this thing, you could just screw it together. But honestly, you should add some glue because that will make it a much more durable, long-lasting piece of furniture. Before we assemble the box, we are going to put in the runners. And the runners have 3.575 inches of space between each runner, and they butt up against one edge. So, and you want to glue these. These are the shelves on which the Sortimos will sit. And because they are thinner than they are wide, you're going to want to use brad nails for this. So I'm using my cheapest nail gun, the Milwaukee that drives the brads. And I'm using, for the drawer runners, I'm going to use 3/4 inch brads, but for the outside of the box, I'm going to use 1 inch brads. All right. And we're going to glue in the first one and measure off of it, glue in the second one. Side and side. It's the same? They are. Never stop checking. Never stop measuring your pieces and making sure they're as identical as you can make them. I am putting a runner on the floor because I like it that way. $3.575. So. All right, 3.575, moving up. Moving on up like George and Wheezy. I am not just making this as an abstraction, by the way. This is actually going to get integrated into my cave. All right, so I'm going to let this one rest there. I mean, you can route these channels if you want. That's totally another way to do this. Route these channels and put in some filler. Another one bites the dust. One more. Uno más. All right. That is all the 3/4 inch brads. That's all 3/4 inch brad. So now what we have are the two sides. Yeah, you see how quickly this is all just gonna do its deal, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we have a top, which goes like this, I believe. Yep. What? Come on. Okay, good. Nice, no blowouts. All right, so let's flip this puppy over and do the top, or the bottom. Yes, the bottom. And top, bottom, I mean. Right, and then there's the backs, which are these two, going like that. Beauty. So, ladies and germs, that right there is a stackable Savage sorting stack. Let's put some Sortimos in it. There we go. I haven't even taken the plastic off of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's a little bit of extra room above the top box because sometimes they put stuff in here and the top can be a little bit proud, and I like the shelves to have the ability to accommodate that. Also, on the racks that Sortimo sells, they often have a little nub in here to keep these from falling out, but that literally is because they so often make these sets and racks for traveling inside big sprinter vans and mobile tool shops and things like that. Since this is going static in my cave, it does not need those little nubbins. In fact, I built them into my shelf over there. I'll show you some B-roll of it. And I don't like the way it works. I prefer, since these aren't falling out, I prefer it this way. But dudettes, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, that is right there a very reasonable amount of plywood. When you finally start to make these for your own shop, you gotta send me pictures. I almost forgot one thing. Hold on. Let's put some wheels on this guy. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Hey. So, yes, we can officially pull all the plastic off now because these have a place to live. Oh my God, can I tell you just how exciting it is to have these manufactured and to utilize them in the cave? I can't even. The thing is if you're like a shop manager and you're looking to, buy 100 of these, you could just CNC all these racks that you want. I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I'm just saying. Maybe you also want to paint these orange. It really is about a 1/4 inch of extra space. There's plenty of rail for these guys to sit on, and no matter how heavy they get, the force you've got on these side rails is a shear force. So I'm not worried about that failing. Really, not even with like some of the heaviest Sortimos I've had in here. And I think I used thinner. I think I used the 22 gauge nailer for the 6-stack I have over in the corner that's been there for now like 6 years or more. Then the last one. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I can't even. Let's sign it. All right, guys, there you have it. A nice quick and dirty one-day build, a very versatile cassette for 5 Sortimo T-BOXXs. You can purchase these by going to my site right now. A link is in the description. Thank you guys for joining me. And hey, if you do build this and you put your sorters into it, whatever brand they may be, I want to see pictures. Post pictures in the comments because I will be reading that stuff. Thanks you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time. One day all of these will be orange. This orange is my favorite.